Welcome to another edition of Marriage Monday. We're so happy to have you a part of our session on today. I believe that God has something in store for you and for your spouse or your future spouse. We'll just leave it at that right there. And we're going to talk about some things I think that's going to be beneficial to their relationship. How you doing, girlfriend?
I'm doing great. I'm excited about this. Is our week. We're starting up again. We took a 2-week hiatus, and we're just excited about having it. Last week was a holiday, and the week before, so here we are back again.
Yeah.
And so it's been an awesome time, awesome break, and I know we were missed because we got a wonderful response about people like, "Where's Marriage Monday?" I'm clicking on, and they can't find us, and here we are. So we're back. So what we want to do is ask you to take a moment to like and share. We're going to give them about 5 seconds.
Give 'em about 5 seconds.
I think that's
Yeah,
long enough
time, yeah.
for you to do it. And of course, maybe somebody's texting you along the way, but letting them know that Marriage Monday is on the air. So no matter where they are, what city, state, country they're in, we're here.
Well, I'm not one of the people that talks about the like and share and stuff like that because I'm still stuck in MySpace and stuff like that. But if Marriage Monday has meant something to you, can they just text something to just let us know what is the one thing they've gained from Marriage Monday to benefit their relationship? I think that'd be good, yeah.
Just take while you're doing that, while you're still texting and you're doing notifications to let people know that Marriage Monday is on, type that word in just like Bishop said, and then we'll be able to know, and we'll be able to review some of those and look at it and then use those for some future topics, some future information. And we know we've already gone over some things, but there's a whole lot of content that we have coming in 2025 that's going to help your marriage.
Believe it or not, we're already 6 months into this, and we're excited about what God is doing in your relationship because He's blessing our relationship. Man.
Yes, He is.
Yeah, look, I know I'm a great husband, an outstanding, most fabulous husband with aerodactyl qualities of Himalayan statues and stuff. But I'm getting better. It's helping me. I think
I'm gonna crown you.
Well, go ahead and crown. Yeah, go ahead.
Because
go ahead. She just put it on me,
got
right?
that halo over his head.
Yeah. I mean, it ain't interfering with the halo because it's still up there and everything. But I guess my point to the people who are part of what we're doing here, it's not just benefiting you all; it's benefiting us as well.
It's benefiting us because the same word that we encourage you with, we have to apply that. So we have to apply it. It's been 41 years, going up 42 years. So this is the content that we have. You're getting, I hope you value this, and maybe this is your first time, welcome. We're packaging over 41 years into 30 minutes at a time in increments. And we have a lot of stuff coming for Marriage Monday. We'll be in Jacksonville, Florida, this month in about 2.5, 3 weeks. So if you know anybody that's in the area, you can go on our page. There may be just a little bit of information that's on there to help navigate you or someone that you know that's in the area. And drum roll, we have drum roll. We're going to be in Las Vegas. So we've already set the date. It's September 14th through the 17th. That's a Sunday through a Wednesday of 2025. So there's more information to come. Just tweaking a little bit of things. I think that's about 3 months away, and I believe that's going to be just enough time for you we're keeping it at a very low cost, and just for you to be able to jump in. Flight's not going to be included, but the price. So all that information is coming. Just give us a little bit more time, and we're going to roll out. We've already set the hotel. We've gotten all that with our travel advisors, so we're excited about that, and we're hopefully that you're going to join us.
Cool.
Wherever you are.
Cool. So what we're going to talk about tonight? Let's talk about what we're going to talk about.
We're going to be talking about love, personal love, and it is the winter time. Oh, this Texas heat is really getting to me, but it's spring and we're going in the summertime. I'm talking about making things fresh, making the marriage, doing something that's going to bring some freshness. I know that we've been juicing watermelon, and I juice the watermelon, but he's benefiting from it. So whatever you're putting into your marriage, you want to make sure.
You want me to drink it too because you wanted to ooze from my veins as you're hugging me and everything. So I mean, exactly. Yeah, it tastes like watermelon.
Well, it's refreshing. So watermelon is what we've been juicing, and he's benefiting from because I'm putting in the work, but he is benefiting from it, and I want him to because it's hydrating. But for your marriage, specifically for your marriage, there's some things that we know that it takes for a marriage, whether you've been married newlyweds or under 2 to 5 years, under 5 years, or if there's some marriages that have been married longer. We just want to implement some things and show you some things.
So like just like we're doing right now, you
Just
can
like what we're
hydrate or
Mm-hmm.
rehydrate your relationship. One of the things is that when relationships get to a point where it gets to be routine, it gets to be a problem because you're going through the same routine over and over again. And not that anything is wrong with that, but you do want to keep your relationship fresh. You want to keep it at a point where you keep them guessing, you keep them excited about being married to you. Now, don't get me wrong. Every day is not going to be a day where, you're doing whatever. But you can live a lifestyle of refreshing, a lifestyle of enjoying the relationship.
Yes, I like that because you can't stay in the bed and with the EX word with an S in front of it and
you gotta
doing that,
come up.
or the kitchen table, wherever. You can't stay in that environment all the time. It's ideal and it sounds good, but you gotta go to work.
Yeah, you
You
gotta
gotta
come up
clean
for air,
up.
man.
You
Yeah.
gotta.
Yeah. You got to come up for air. She acting silly.
See, we don't want to get banned. Y'all have to come. We invite y'all to come to our the retreats, anything that we're
so
hosting,
we can
because
just
we
be
like
real,
to keep
yeah.
it raw. We like to keep it
Yeah,
real.
but,
Gotta keep
but you
it
know,
relevant.
you do have
relevant.
to. You just can't let it be the same. Everything has everything evolves. Your mate evolves. Your mate is not the same person that you married to, and if they are, we got some issues because everything is about growth. Anything that's dead needs to be buried.
It really
and
is.
so there has to be some growth in the relationship. There has to be some excitement. There has to be some, and sometimes maybe the excitement is not the word. But let's just use growth, for example. Growth is something that you develop. It's something that causes you to stay interested, to stay connected. And sometimes that growth may be pruning sometimes, where, we got to take this out so that we can get stronger in this particular area. But as we're in this spring season today, what we really want to talk about is that refreshing aspect of it.
And there's a scripture that when you're teaching, sometimes you refer to it. First the blade, then the ear, and then the corn.
The full ear and the corn.
full
Right.
ear and the
Uh-huh,
corn.
yeah.
And so as we're
It's in the book of Mark.
in the book of Mark, we're navigating today. There's stages just like a plant: the germination stage, the growth stage, the flowering, the pollination or the seed formation, and then the seed dispersal. And that's all a process. So the germination stage, it begins to sprout in the root. So the germination is what you're planting. You've made that marriage commitment. We've made that commitment. Now what? So once you plant it, it's the things that come out of your mouth, the things that you do, those are the things that you're going to get out of it.
That's true.
And I know I used to call myself this, but I stopped that. But you're more of a green thumb than I am. And so one of the things you do, you talk to the plant. I'm like, I don't have time to talk to no plant. I done watered this plant. I done put some Miracle Grow in it. I've done what I think is necessary. But then that's not it. You said, you got to talk to the plant. I don't want to do that.
Well, but I mean, it's about growing the relationship. It's about growing the plant. And see, everything that's alive, your marriage has to be alive. It's not a dormant type of a thing. Dormant means it's stagnated. It's not going anywhere. But when your marriage is alive and it's moving, I think you said something a few minutes ago that has a lot of relevance. You have to ask the question of what's next. What's going to be the next thing in our relationship? If we can talk about our first vacation, our first vacation, we had the small children, and y'all have heard us say this before. It was just in the bedroom where we set up, a candlelight dinner in the bedroom, and we were doing our best to make things happen.
But children were not in there.
Oh, no. Oh, heavens, no.
Our first romantic, what we would consider, because we could not afford to go anywhere.
But now some people are at a point where you can afford it, but instead of affording what you can afford, you're sitting and you're stuck on, we got to save this and we got to save that. And so what happens is you're not living anymore. You're just you're just going through the motions. Can I just say it that way?
Yes.
You're just going through the motions. So since you're just going through the motions, you can't get the full benefit out of the relationship. Look, there just comes a time where you got to live. You got to live. And I'm talking about living with that person. And not just I'm just going to do it on my own. If they don't want to come go with me, I'm just do it on my own. No, see, that ain't the right attitude, because you're in this thing together. And so I want to talk to my brothers who's trying to save, and I think saving is very good, okay? Again, I ain't talking about doing something every week and whatever, but do something different.
Talk to the sister too. Some
Well,
of the sisters may save.
Well, yeah.
Whoever the one that likes to spend the most.
Wait a minute, I don't know a sister. Well, yeah, I do. My mama was a saver. But you're a spender, though, and I love spending money on you, girl. I ain't trying to put you on blast. I'm not putting you on blast.
I think everybody may know that by now.
Yeah, but I think they do. You know, as fly as you always looking, that ain't, look, she pretty, but she expensive. But I love it, though, because there was a time where we couldn't do what we do. I couldn't buy you things. I used to tell you all the time, just get on and ride. And that's what if I can encourage a young couple who's struggling right now, you got small children, and you know, and people are putting pressure on you, talking about, why don't you go have some kids, and why don't you go have some kids, and all that kind of stuff, and you know you're not ready for it, because you ain't okay, you're not where you need to be within the relationship. Don't let them put that pressure on you. You know, you and your spouse talk about that thing, and y'all plan it so that it can be where it needs to be, and then go from there. But if you continue to work at this thing, you know, better days will come, you know.
And that leads us to our second, which I talked about, our growth. And when we're experiencing growth, you'll see that. I remember in our marriage, one of the things that when it came to finances, I knew I was not the better suited one.
Yeah.
I was not the better suited one, simply because of how I was brought up, how I was raised. And then when I came into the marriage,
she's gonna tell you about your daddy spoiler. Her daddy spoiler real good.
He was convinced that I was the one to keep our finances. But you have to be I'm just not talking about finances, but just
look how the Lord loves us. She's giving us a good breeze right now. Hopefully you can still hear us right now.
We're not just talking about finance, but look at this aspect. One of the things you said, being impromptu. Sometimes you can be dull. Marriage can become dull within a matter of weeks, years, months. But you got to change it up to an aspect to address and find out what that person desires. You know, it's good to get information sometimes from other people, but the best person to answer that is your spouse, your husband or your wife. What do you need from me?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do?
That's critical.
Just like the other day when you mentioned.
What I mentioned what?
I mentioned.
Oh, okay. You mentioned. I didn't mention that.
I mentioned.
Because you told me you didn't want to talk about that. See?
I did not say.
Go ahead. I put me on blast then.
I did say it in the context. Let's clarify to the people. Let's tell the people.
Yeah, go ahead.
Make it right for the people. What I said was we were riding and going just for a ride, just spending some quality time, and I mentioned that I wanted him to start back buying me flowers.
Exactly.
And then what did you say? Instead of saying, I'm going to get that done, your response was?
I'm sure it was something intelligent.
Hey, your response was, I'm going to help you. Maybe the son is getting to you.
Tell me what I said.
What he said, his response was, where'd that come from?
Yeah, exactly. Where'd that come from, man?
Thinking about dying or something? About dying? What dying got to do with the flowers?
Oh, because you had said something about dying previously, and I'm not trying.
Oh, what I said, if I clear that up, I said, what I said to him is that if I was to die, what would he do with someone else that he's not doing for me now that I want?
See, I don't think about it like that.
Well, I thought about it like that.
I don't think
and
about
then one thing about dying. And I'm not going to be dying no time soon.
No, you're not.
Keep me healthy, keep me
whole. That's
whole, healthy, sound mind.
That's right. And us, yeah.
Yes, us. But anyway, so that was.
Yeah, that's what that was conversation about.
I hope that helped me out. This is being transparent.
But I mean, you know, if that's what she desires, then that's I have to be.
I expected you to read my mind.
Oh, she expected me to read her mind.
That I wanted those flowers.
Like I'm connecting.
Men, aren't y'all?
Some of y'all know what I'm talking about.
Aren't y'all mind readers? I'm not gonna get any.
My thing is ladies, y'all can talk about everything. Yeah, just tell us what you want.
I'm telling you what I want.
Exactly, so I can make that happen. It becomes very easy now.
Where them flowers at?
Yeah, 'cause I like the boots on the ground, right? I'm gonna put some flowers on the ground for you so you can walk on them and everything else. Hey, see, but
that dry up after a while, but they're so pretty.
But you look, if I can go a little bit further into that area, did you not know that a lot of men have never seen or rarely sees their wife's full body? And so, you know, you have a person who's never seen your entire scope of who you are, or they saw it long. Oh, I've seen it all. I've seen it all.
All right, y'all.
But you know, change up, do something different. I mean, come on, who you are is who you are. And, you know, when I first met you, man, I was sculptured, you know. I got a couple roles, you know. I know I'm still sculptured, you know. But look, and I'm saying that because for those of you who may be saying, you know what, I don't know how to change that. No, and you done got comfortable, and instead of being comfortable, there are things that you can do. I'm saying something to some of you right now that your husband won't tell you, and not because they necessarily told me, but they want to see your entire physique. I think that's a good way to say it so it won't get banned, right? They want to see who you are in total scope. It's something that men are very visual. You know, we like to see things.
Don't turn the lights out.
No, don't turn the lights on. Now let's see the lights on, you know. Because now, again, early in our relationship, you know, you come to bed with the hair rolls and all the stuff around your head, all that kind of stuff. Okay, no, because we had to stop it because I want her to be beautiful just as she is. You say you don't remember that? Okay, well, I'm going to ask the Lord to bring that back to her remembrance because that's what the Holy Spirit will do, right? But look, do something different. It's about the refreshing aspect of the relationship. If that's, brothers, if that's something that you desire, tell her. Ladies, if that's something that you may say, bro, don't take yours out, put yours back on. I mean, but whatever. No, and I'm not saying being mean. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is you got to be open. You got to be honest. You got to talk to them. You got to tell them what you need because, you know, it's too late once the person is stretched out in front of you. You know what I'm saying? And you can't get that time back. You know, time is non-renewable. You know, you don't get a chance to get it back. So you give the person give them what they want. Give them, you know, within reason, okay, within the confinements of your relationship. But make sure that it's something. If your spouse needs that well, I'm shamed. What are you ashamed of? That's who you're married to. And I don't know why I'm on that kick today, but you over here kicking our dog as you dog around the foot and everything. She's just getting all out of character on the camera. But talk to us.
So our next point would be the flowering stage. And so we know that we talked about the germination, the growth stage, but when I talk about the flowering stage, we think about getting in or putting out in what you want out of the marriage. And I think sometimes that gets lost in translation. When I say that, the communication is not there.
Talk a little bit different about deeper about that.
In which?
I mean, when you say what you're saying.
It gets lost in the translation. Our love language may change along the way. What my needs were when I first got married, when we first got married, may not be my needs what I have now. So when I say that, lost in the translation, it may be that Miracle-Gro is not needed at that time. It may be too much. It may cause the fertilizer too much.
Okay.
And sometimes that could bleed into maybe a person that's overbearing or too needy. And it doesn't mean that too needy or too clingy, it doesn't mean necessarily that it's overly done, but that person somewhere along the way has gotten some type of insecurity that maybe the one of the spouses has been texting, been talking to someone else, or doing something that's not productive for the marriage. So it gets lost in translation. You're putting in what you want to get out. So you shouldn't be texting, you shouldn't be calling, you shouldn't be FaceTiming, you shouldn't be doing these things, but what you should be doing is putting in, if you think the grass is greener on the other side, then whatever you're considering putting into someone else, put it into your spouse.
But see,
Put that work in.
But the other side of the story is that I hear people out there now saying, but I'm the one who's always doing something. I'm the one who always...
Yeah, we hear that.
Yeah, we hear it all the
sometimes.
time. You know, if I'm tired of doing
And we
this,
may have
because
felt like that.
and we felt like that before at times. But that's why it's so important that communication is always a valuable aspect of a marriage. You know, going to bed 2 or 3 days at a time and not talking to each other.
Okay.
Come on, y'all. Come on. Look, if you're just now tuning us in and you're just now being a part of the Marriage Mondays, that's one of the things you got to understand, that communication is really valuable. And I think one of the times, a few weeks ago, we talked about, man, it's been a while ago, what we talked about in that communication aspect, you got to communicate without being offended. In other words, you got to give the other person a chance to talk and to really express how they really feel without being offended, and not cutting the person off or not having your own thought processes. That's an airplane flying over right now. It actually made me think about when I flew you in the airplane, and I was flying you in the airplane just like that right over the house, and you're like, well, what's going on? I'm like, well, let's just go back to the airport. That's another story for another day, right? But it's critical that, communication is so vitally important. You got to talk, y'all. Come on, you got to talk. And I'm not just talking pillow talk either. I'm talking about where you sit the person down and say, hey, listen, let's discuss some things and let's talk about it. Because if you want something from the person, the easiest way to do it is to tell them what you want, as opposed to, how can I say it, getting mad because you don't have it. Let me just say it that way. Pretty good.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, we want you, we have a few more minutes, and we're going to be closing off for this segment of Marriage Monday, but we want to hear from you. We want to know how you're enjoying it. We want to know what this is really speaking to you on Marriage Monday about the development, the process, the growth process in your marriage. And we know that, like, we share a whole lot of transparent things about our lives, but maybe you want to share something and put in the comments about how it's been a blessing to you. So,
yeah, because if it worked for them, it can work for us too. You know, I mean, for everybody else who's watching us on this broadcast.
You know, you don't have to be uncertain about where you're going or what your marriage is doing. We're here to help. Now, sometimes it can feel like it's one-sided. Maybe it's just one spouse, watching or viewing. But if you're able to apply what you can to your marriage and pray for your spouse and make it work. I remember one of the things that, I don't know, many of you may know the televangelist Joyce Meyer, and one of the things that, and you'll hear us refer to this sometimes, but he was hearing some things and knowing that our marriage needed some improvement, and you said to yourself,
man.
Quashlin can hear that. And the Holy Spirit said to you, what?
Oh, it's for me and not for you.
It's for you and not for me. But I was going to get the overflow of that. And so at the meantime, the mothers in the church was working on me, and the Holy Spirit was working through me, so I could become, and there was a great meeting of spirits, like kindred spirits, and here we are today.
Because, you know, the only way you can get success is, or to have success in your relationship, is you can't quit. One of the gentlemen at my father's funeral, he made a statement that my father told him, and the statement was this. He said he went to my dad and says, hey, because I think mom and dad have been married, 66 years or something like that. He said, well, how do you stay married? You know, what's the key to staying married for a long time? And Dad looked at him and said, don't get a divorce. That was just that simple. You know, just don't get a divorce. Well, sometimes it's easier, or it appears to be easier, to just quit.
Yeah.
But you can't divide the children up. You can divide your money up. You can divide, all this other kind of stuff. But you just can't pull away families and memories and things of that nature. You can work through what you're going through right now. You can have a successful relationship, but it's going to take some work. You got to talk about this thing. You know, that's this thing about love and what we're talking about flowering and everything else. It really boils down to a level of communication. How are you communicating? How are you talking to that person? How are you building that relationship? And talking is a two-sided thing. It's not just a one-sided thing.
Mm-hmm. And then you got to be able to water. You got to be able to plant. You got to be able to effectively prune. And when we say prune, I know that sounds like a religious thing, but that is not. It has to do with farming.
Yes.
And so when we're talking about seeding and germination and things that we brought about, it takes all of that and some more pruning. Mm-hmm. I remember, and we're going to close with my grandmother when they would prune the fig trees that we had, and Granddaddy would put tar on the. I don't know the purpose for him putting the tar, but the tar, it was maybe the infectious part, the part that was going to cause it not to produce the next season. He would do things like that. It's a process. And so we're here to help you with the process, help you in the process. If you know anybody that's being challenged or not in their marriage, let this replay for them. Go back and allow it to listen. This is...
Can they send it to them?
Yes, they can send it to them. Just copy the link and text it to them and put it on your Facebook page, your social media page, and put little snippets. Do you put in the work so that others can be blessed, because it really helps us when we can do less counseling. This is the counseling, and hopefully it's being a blessing to countless others. Just send it to someone else, and then we'll be back next week.
Well, can I close with this?
You can.
I want to close with this. I joined the Air Force when I was 17. I retired when I was 37. One of the things I've heard, and even to this day I keep hearing over and over again, is that, man, I can remember when you went in. You already retired? Well, no, I'm not just retired. I've been retired over 20-something years now. And when I see friends of mine, they say things like, man, I wish I would have done that back then too. Man, well, you don't get a chance to get a do-over, okay? If you work on the relationship that you have right now, okay, you won't have to leave this relationship and go to somebody else thinking, as you said earlier, that the grass is always greener on the other side. If you work what you have right now, come on, there are days that's going to not necessarily be good, because pruning doesn't feel good, okay? Some of the things you may go through, but if you hang in there and you keep working the process, if you get them to quality people so that other quality people can hang around quality people, we can see a change in your relationship, and we can see God's hand begin to move in your relationship. So I think that's pretty good.
I think that's really good.
So go ahead.
Okay, we're going to sign off for this week. Marriage Monday has been such a blessing, and we're excited about all the things that we've been hearing, the different results of how it's benefited.